At this point in the season, can we really be glad that they got that point? The Flyers found a way to get the extra point, well, not the extra point, just to get that 1 point in overtime as they fall to the Carolina Hurricanes? I don't think so. I don't think people are actually glad about this. I feel like people want them to lose, preferably more, just so that when they get to the trade deadline, they could trade all the pieces away. Then you could eventually get that higher draft pick. So I don't think people are happy just getting the extra point. But I do feel like just over this past stretch, even though this losing streak, the 5-game losing streak for the Flyers now, but still, like over the past so many games, I don't think this team has played bad. I really don't. Like, I think they've actually been playing good hockey as of late, but I feel like at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't, because they're a bad team. And the usual saying comes back yet again and again and again and again, that bad teams find ways to lose games. And the Flyers find another way to lose this game, just this time in overtime to the Carolina Hurricanes in the final so many seconds of it. What was it, like 18 seconds left in the overtime period? So yeah, the Flyers definitely had many chances to win this game, but they found a way to lose. They did. So before we get into all of that stuff, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and if you are new to the channel, I definitely recommend hitting that sub button. I would greatly appreciate that. So if you're looking for the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, this is the place to be at, depending on the outcome, great or miserable, depending on that outcome. And if you are a current viewer of the channel, I am definitely grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. Also, if you're looking for any tickets to any upcoming sporting event, concert, whatever you can think of, utilize the code TTPSPORTS down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So that could be tickets to a hockey game, basketball, baseball, whenever that decides to come back, football, whenever that comes back. Utilize the code TTPSPORTS. The $20 takes away your fees. You can use that $20 for soda, food, whatever you can get at the arena. Definitely utilize that code TTPSPORTS down below at SeatGeek for $20 off your first purchase today. So getting into the business today, the Flyers lose 4-3 to the Carolina Hurricanes in overtime and make that a 5-game losing streak for the Philadelphia Flyers. So how long is this losing streak going to last? I don't know. I don't know whatsoever. But if there's also something that you probably noticed, a different background. Yeah, it's a darker color. Hopefully that could bring out the lighting. From what I'm looking at right now, it does look like the lighting is kind of better, which I was not expecting. But hey, I like the color of this setup. There's going to be definitely something else behind here, but I'm just waiting for the paint to settle. So definitely like this new setup. I want to hear your thoughts about it too, actually, in the comment section below. So whenever we get to that point, leave those comments down below. What do you think of this brand new look for the background? But still, we have a hockey game to talk about. So let's talk about that puck. The Flyers, like I said, I don't think they played a very bad game. I thought they actually looked pretty good. The first period especially, they were taking it to Carolina, even though, granted, Carolina played yesterday as well in Pittsburgh, so they're coming off of rest. And it's also weird, even though it is President's Day, it still feels weird to have a 3 o'clock game in the afternoon on a Monday. But technically, it is a holiday, so I can understand why they're doing that, and also because Carolina played in the afternoon yesterday, so that's probably another reason why. But still, it felt weird. The atmosphere was just dead. It was very quiet in the Wells Fargo Center. Even though it does get loud later on in the game because of the Zach McEwen fight, it was just a dead atmosphere. Also, there were a lot of scouts at this game as well. I think there were at least 10 scouts at this Flyers game. Most likely, it's a combination of sellers looking to sell to Carolina and also buyers looking to look at the Flyers roster, see what they can get from there. So there's something to look at there, especially with the trade deadline. There's definitely, I know, like teams like Colorado was there, the Rangers were there. I think Minnesota was there. I'm not entirely sure. I know Nashville was there. I know, I think San Jose was there. There were a good amount of teams. I know Florida was there as well. I think there was Seattle as well. So there were quite a good amount of teams today, scouting-wise, at the Flyers game, and I was in the press box, so that's the only way I knew that information. So, yeah, this game basically, like I said, they didn't play bad. The first period, they were really good. They got a lot of chances. They just sadly could not find a way to beat Anderson. And, yeah, you go through that first period, it's a tied game. Maybe you can look for some positivity there, but then you got to realize Carolina is probably going to get a jump in that second period just because the Flyers didn't take advantage of that, very slow start by Carolina in that first. But things that did stand out like throughout the course of this game as well, I thought Isaac Ratcliffe played a really good game, and he's really standing out more and more, which I am very happy to see. Just someone just coming up and taking the role that they're in, and just I wouldn't say he's running away with it. He's just playing good for the role that he's being put into. Maybe there's some correlation to where maybe his game translates better into the NHL than it does in the AHL, because I know his numbers technically aren't the best throughout his AHL career with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, but maybe that's just one of those cases. Maybe he's just a better, style of player up in the bigger leagues than in the AHL. So hopefully he gets to continue that strong pace that he's on right now. He got another point in tonight's game, so I think that's 4 points in 7 games for Isaac Ratcliffe, and he also got some time on that first line as well at the end of the game. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what he can showcase, and I'm just happy for him just to see that he can get this chance, and he's taking all the opportunities he's getting and taking advantage of them. So that's very nice to see. And also, Jerry Mayhew once again scoring goals. It's very weird. Why is he the one that's consistently potting goals? I just find it odd. And he has 6 goals on the season, and I think he hasn't played that many. He has to play at least under 20, and he's catching up to some of the other guys on the score sheet and goals wise, because he's catching up to guys like Travis Konechny. I think Konechny has 8 goals on the season. Mayhew has 6. I was just like, come on, Jerry Mayhew. I'm happy for the guy. I am, but still, just like Jerry Mayhew. But it's weird. It's very weird. I just can't think of a response to that. I really just can't. So you're tied going into the second period. You knew Carolina was going to get that better jump, and they did very early in the second period. It was a dump type in style of play. It was a very, very lucky bounce, and it was Niederreiter that was able to get that lucky bounce and put it in the empty net past Jones to make it an early 1-0 Carolina lead in that second period. But the Flyers, then they get a very lucky bounce, i.e. Jerry Mayhew, speak of the devil, he got a lucky bounce. He tried to center it into the crease, and it looked like it went off of one of the Carolina defenders and past Anderson, so the game ends up tied 1-1 under minutes into the second period. So, hey, both teams get the lucky bounces, and not the end of the world. It's a tie game. You're basically starting over from scratch at that point. But once again, the Flyers, I wouldn't say the Flyers, actually. Carolina did wake up in this period. They were a lot better, even though this period was a lot more back and forth than it was in the first. Like I said, the Flyers were the way better team in that first period. This one was way back and forth. The Flyers get a couple of power plays throughout this game as well. They don't score on any of them. What else is new? And they get a frequent amount of chances. They get a couple of odd man rushes. They don't cash in. Maybe they're trying to pass the puck maybe one too many times. But then Carolina, halfway through this period, they get a rush up the zone, a brilliant patch by Andrei Svechnikov through the crease, finds Teravainen, and he puts it past Martin Jones, and it becomes a 2-1 Carolina lead, and that's the way it goes into the intermission. Up 2-1 for Carolina, and basically a back and forth game at this point. And if you're looking at this from the Flyer standpoint, once again, you're down when you're playing a pretty good game. And for the Carolina standpoint, I think going into this game, they were, 23-1-1 when leading after 2 periods. So yeah, good luck coming back against Carolina if you're the Flyers. And also, it's funny too, that one regulation loss that Carolina has on the season when leading after 2 periods, surprisingly enough, was against the Flyers in the beginning of the season. What was that, like November or October when they won in Carolina or something like that? So yeah, weird stat. But yeah, it did happen. And the Flyers do eventually tie this game in the third period. They get a nice rush from the fourth line. The fourth line was probably one of the Flyers' better lines out there. Patrick Brown returned to the lineup out there with Zach McEwen and Isaac Ratcliffe. They get a chance. You got Isaac Ratcliffe setting up Brown beautifully, who was backdoor. He has a wide open net, and he manages to bury it past Anderson to tie the game up. So Brown returns to the lineup. He scores a goal, gets a great feed from Isaac Ratcliffe. That fourth line was all over the ice tonight. But then eventually, not that long after, it's Trocheck beating Jones, and it becomes a 3-2 Carolina game. So here we go again. The Flyers find a way to tie the game, but then not that long after, they break down and they allow Carolina to take the lead. So it's basically those same few mistakes to where they get that one breakdown, and it's just something that can't go their way, and it goes into the back of their net, and that's exactly what happened here when Trocheck scores his goal. The Flyers try pushing. They try getting that pace going the other direction, getting into the later stages of this period. Zach McEwen gets into a fight with Ian Cole, and there's a little bit of, rough stuff going in that corner. I guess Zach McEwen wasn't liking the way Cole was, cross-checking into the boards. So they drop the mitts. The crowd actually gets loud for once. It sounded like a packed house, even though it was nowhere close to that. It was probably like at least half of that. And it sounded very loud, very surprising. And you got Zach McEwen going to the box. He absolutely destroyed Ian Cole in this fight. He gets a little let's go to the crowd. The crowd gets jumping. And then seconds later after that, you get I believe this is the third line out there, or the second line out there for the Flyers right after the Zach McEwen fight. Konechny, Lindblom, and I believe it's JVR Willman that is out there. And Konechny, he's in the slot. He throws a puck on net. They're basically controlling the puck in the zone this entire time. Konechny finds a way to get the shot onto the net. You get Sanheim and Lindblom pushing to the net. It looks like it goes off of Lindblom's skate and under the pads of Anderson. Sanheim tries to get in there and just poke the puck into the net just for good measure, but it is counted as Oscar Lindblom's goal, and the Flyers tie it immediately after they get that spark from the fight. And they do get a couple of chances at the end of the game. You were praying, thinking that, oh my God, how are the Flyers going to blow this in the final 5 minutes? Is Carolina going to find a way to take the lead at the end? But they don't. You go into overtime, both teams get the point, and halfway through this overtime, it was basically Carolina just possessing the puck the entire time. And overtime, 3-on-3 in the NHL, it is a possession game, and that's exactly what Carolina was doing. But then Jones gets a stop halfway through. The Flyers get a couple of rushes going the other way. Drew gets the chance. Provorov gets the chance. They are both stopped by Anderson. And then Cam Atkinson gets absolutely robbed on the backhand by Anderson. It looks like he got a pad or a stick on that, which basically took away a game-winning goal by Cam Atkinson. And then eventually the puck goes all the way down the other way, and it becomes Pesce who puts it in past Jones with 18 seconds left in the overtime, and Carolina wins by a score of 4-3. 3 stars of the game. Got Pesce the first star with the game winner, Vincent Trocheck with the second star, and Patrick Round is the third star for the Flyers. Shots on goal in this game, Flyers led 41-31. Faceoffs in the favor of the Flyers, 52%. Both teams go scoreless on the power play. Flyers 0-3. What else is new? And Carolina goes 0-1. Physical game, 22 hits for the Flyers to Carolina's 14. Both Flyers blocked a lot of shots in this game, 19 to Carolina's 6. And shots on goal per period. The first period, like I said, was a major period dominated by the Flyers, and that shows. Shots were 11-2 in favor of the Flyers. The second period and the third period, you can definitely tell it was more back and forth. Second period was 13-11 in favor of Carolina, and the third period was 14-10 in favor of the Flyers. Overtime, shots were 6-5 in favor of Carolina. So, you get the point. Even though at the end of the day it doesn't matter, you still found a way to lose a game. And at the end of the day, losses still pile up in the loss column, and that becomes a 5-game losing streak for the Flyers. But I guess you can say for the team that the positive from this, you have a game to bounce back tomorrow night at home against the St. Louis Blues. So basically, you don't have to, linger on this loss for a while. Maybe you could try to bring some of that good energy into tomorrow's game against St. Louis. I guess the good thing about it being a back-to-back, it's at home. You don't have to worry about traveling. You're sleeping in your own beds, so you really don't have to worry about anything right there. But you're definitely going to be going up against a very tough St. Louis team, and I don't think they've played today, if I am not mistaken. I want to look at St. Louis's schedule, actually, just to see when was the last time St. Louis played before today's game. They did not play today at all. They have been off for the past couple of days. Yeah, their last game was on Saturday, which was a 6-3 win in Toronto. So, yeah, you're going to be coming up against a rested St. Louis Blues team. And then looking at the standings, just to see where the Flyers, stand in the, everything there. They got 40 points now in the season, getting that extra point in the overtime. They are 15, 25, and 10. They are a point ahead of the New Jersey Devils, who are in last place in the Metropolitan Division. They both have 50 games played, but the Flyers are a point ahead of the Devils. Looking at the league standings to see where the Flyers place in the bottom feeders of this league. The Flyers are currently 6th worst in the NHL. They are 27th in the league. Like I said, with 40 points, they are tied with the Buffalo Sabres. First, I guess the Flyers are ahead of Buffalo because they have a game in hand on them. So Buffalo, they have 40 points. Devils, they have 39. Seattle has 36. Arizona has 30. And Montreal has 27. So the Flyers, they're in the bottom feeder section of the league. So basically, you're going to be seeing a lot of flip-flopping within these couple of teams, most likely with the Flyers, the Devils, with the Senators and all that stuff, the Sabres. So there's going to be a lot of flip-flopping back and forth with these teams. But it's basically going to be like that for the rest of the season because this schedule is going to be very tough going down the stretch, especially this upcoming schedule because, like I said, how much longer is this losing streak going to last? Tomorrow against St. Louis, probably going to be a loss. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure if Jones is going to start again tomorrow because Hart was out with this game with an eye infection. So who knows if he's going to be available for tomorrow's game. Is Ustimenko, who was Jones's backup, is he going to get his first NHL start tomorrow? I have no idea in that standpoint. And then you got Saturday against Washington. So you got 3 days off after tomorrow. And then you get Edmonton, Minnesota, Chicago, and Vegas to wrap up the homestand. And yeah, it's who knows how long this losing streak's going to last. Man, I'm just basically looking at that point. How long is this losing streak going to last? I feel like that's what all Flyers fans are asking at this point. Because what else is there? Basically, you're waiting for the trade deadline. You're waiting to see what happens with the Claude Giroux situation. That's basically all Flyers fans are waiting for because there's really no other point to watching these games. But for me, and every other person that, covers the Flyers, I'm watching every single game, sadly. And, dealing with the pain. Dealing with a lot of the pain. And I am sharing that pain with you. So, hey, if you didn't watch the game and you get to see my recap, I am bringing that pain to you people, you viewers that are watching the video. Oh, boy. This Flyers season has just been one downhill of a roller coaster. It went up for that short stint in the beginning of the season, and it's just constantly going down into a deep, bottomless pit that you just can't get out of. That's where we're stuck at. And it feels like that. It really does. And it really, really sucks. But, hey, I guess you could say the season is almost over since we're down to the last week in February. Then you get the whole month of March, and then you get the whole month of April. So you got, 2 months left in the season, and the trade deadline is not that long away, actually. It is a good, 3.5 to 4 weeks away. So I want to hear your thoughts on this game, just the loss in general, your thoughts on just going forward with the Flyers schedule, going forward with the trade deadline. What do you think the Flyers need to do? I want to hear all those thoughts down in the comment section below, so don't forget to leave those down there. As always, don't forget to drop a like on this video. Don't forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Flyer to Pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Don't forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you do is hit that sub button and also use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. And I will see you next time.